Hi, I'm Amora. 20 years ago, I was coding in my garage apartment with nothing but student loan debt and a vision. Now I'm sitting in the corner office of Amoratech's 50-story headquarters, running a $2 billion cybersecurity empire that protects half the Fortune 500. The Q3 numbers are outstanding. We're up 23% from last year. Raymond slid the financial report across my desk. As my CFO for 15 years, he's the only person I trust with the real numbers. Any concerns about the Westfield merger? I asked, scanning the projections. Nothing we can't handle. Your son called, by the way. He and the new wife want to have dinner tonight. I sighed. Marcus had always been brilliant, but easily influenced. 6 months ago, he'd eloped with Vanessa, a woman he'd known for all of 3 months. Something about her never sat right with me. Amora, your 2 o'clock is here, and your son just texted that they'll meet you at Carlito's at 7. Diane, my assistant of 12 years, appeared at the door. She'd been with me since we were working out of a cramped office with secondhand furniture. Thanks, Diane. Can you join that meeting? I want your take on the new security protocol. Later at Carlito's, Marcus waved from our regular table, Vanessa draped elegantly beside him. Her smile never reached her eyes. Mom, the Beijing contract went through. They're implementing our security system across their entire network. That's my boy. I squeezed his shoulder, noticing how Vanessa shifted slightly closer to him. Actually, it was a team effort. Vanessa helped me prepare the presentation. She has amazing business instincts. Vanessa flashed that calculated smile. I just suggested a few tweaks to the pricing structure. Nothing major. I raised an eyebrow. Funny, I don't remember you having a background in cybersecurity pricing. Oh, I'm a quick study. Marcus has been teaching me everything about Amoratech. It's fascinating how you've structured the company. The subsidiary in the Caymans was particularly interesting. My private offshore accounts? How the hell did she know about those? Throughout dinner, she peppered the conversation with questions about board members, ownership percentages, succession plans. Marcus seemed oblivious, proudly explaining our business to her like he was showing off a new toy. Walking to our cars, Vanessa linked her arm through mine. We should spend more time together, just us girls. You know, I really want to understand the woman who built all this. I'm an open book, I lied. What about that yacht you mentioned? The one in Monaco? Marcus says you never use it. Been too busy to enjoy it lately. Her eyes lit up. We should go, just the 3 of us next weekend. No work calls, no interruptions. A chance to really bond as a family? Marcus beamed. That's a great idea. What do you say, Mom? Something in her expression made my skin crawl, but I nodded. Sure, let's do it. As they drove away, I called Raymond. I need you to run a background check on Vanessa, deeper than the last one. Something's not right. The Mediterranean sparkled beneath our yacht like scattered diamonds. 3 days into our family bonding trip, and Vanessa hadn't stopped asking questions about my company structure. So the intellectual property is held by the Singapore entity? That's quite tax efficient. She sipped her champagne, eyes calculating behind designer sunglasses. You seem awfully interested in corporate structuring for someone who claimed to be in art sales before meeting Marcus. She shrugged. Just trying to understand the family business. After all, it'll be Marcus's someday, which means it's my future too. That night, I couldn't sleep. The gentle rocking of the yacht usually soothed me, but something felt wrong. I stepped out for fresh air when I heard voices from the main deck. Once we have controlling interest, we can push through the acquisition offer. Vanessa's voice was different, harder, more clinical. But Mom would never agree to sell. She built this company from nothing. Marcus sounded uncertain. She won't be in the picture much longer. The board already thinks she's losing her edge. With your shares plus Raymond's, which I'll handle, we'll have enough to force her out. I don't know about this. Do you want to be under Mommy's thumb forever? This was the plan from the beginning. I didn't marry you for your sparkling personality. I gasped involuntarily. A floorboard creaked beneath me. Someone's there. Vanessa appeared at the stairwell, face twisted with rage when she saw me. How much did you hear? Enough to know you married my son to steal my company. Marcus emerged behind her. Mom, it's not what it sounds like. Really? Because it sounds like your wife just admitted she married you as part of a scheme. Vanessa laughed. You built an empire on other people's ideas. I'm just following your example. Get off my yacht. We're turning around tomorrow. That's not happening. She stepped toward me. You know too much now. What happened next was a blur. Vanessa lunged. I stepped back. Her hands connected with my chest, and suddenly I was falling. The cold water hit like concrete. My head struck something hard. Darkness. I woke to the smell of fish and diesel. A weathered face peered down at me. You're alive! I thought for sure you were gone. The man helped me sit up. I'm Carlos. Found you floating half dead near my fishing route. How long was I out? Almost a day. You hit your head bad. There's news about a missing billionaire woman. Yacht reported you fell overboard during the night. Big accident, they're saying. My own death announcement. I touched my throbbing head, feeling crusted blood. Phone. I need a phone. No phone. We're heading to shore now. As Carlos's boat chugged toward land, I saw a news helicopter circling the search area. Vanessa had planned this perfectly. The remote location, the night voyage. Checking Carlos's newspaper, I saw she'd been laying groundwork for months. Rumors about my mental health. Strategic leaks about company instability. They think I'm dead, I whispered. Aren't you going to tell them otherwise? I stared at the horizon. Not yet. First, I need to understand exactly what I'm dealing with. Carlos let me use his beach cottage while I figured out my next move. 3 days after my accident, I made a secure call from a burner phone. Who is this? Diane's voice was tense. It's me. Don't react. Tell no one I'm alive. Oh my God, we thought. I need your help. And Raymond's. Can you meet me? Bring my emergency passport from the office safe. 2 days later, we huddled in a roadside motel 50 miles from headquarters. Diane hugged me so hard I winced. Your face is all over the news, Raymond said, spreading out files on the bed. Vanessa's already moved into your office. She's pushing for an emergency board vote to install Marcus as CEO. With me gone, he inherits my shares. What's her angle? Diane pulled out her tablet. I dug into her past. Vanessa Williams doesn't exist. At least not before 3 years ago. The screen showed a different woman. Same eyes, different nose, darker hair. Meet Victoria Webb, married to tech investor Gerald Simmons for 11 months before his mysterious boating accident. She walked away with $30 million. Before that, she was Veronica Wilson, who married oil exec Thomas Brandt. He died in a home invasion. Jesus, she's done this before. Marcus seems genuinely devastated about your death, Raymond said. But he's following her lead on everything. She's got him convinced the company will tank without immediate action. I paced the room. We need proof she pushed me. Carlos saw my condition when he found me, but we need more. I've got something. Diane tapped her tablet. She emptied her cloud storage, but our IT backup caught this before it disappeared. A document appeared, a detailed plan titled, At Acquisition Strategy. There's a list of potential obstacles here. You're at the top, with notes about your yacht routine and swimming abilities. This isn't enough. We need her to incriminate herself. I thought for a moment. Raymond, what's the status of the Meridian acquisition? Board votes next Thursday. It's worth billions if it goes through. Perfect. I need you to doctor the projections. Make it look like the deal's toxic, like it would sink us. But only on the copies going to Vanessa and Marcus. What good will that do? She'll push to kill the deal, thinking it's worthless. The rest of the board will see the real numbers. She'll look incompetent at best, suspicious at worst. And then what? Diane asked. We need one more piece. Carlos needs to come forward about finding me injured, not drowned. Can you get him here? 3 days later, Carlos arrived with photos he'd taken of my injuries. I always document unusual catches, he joked darkly. The night before the board meeting, I stood in front of the mirror in my disguise brown wig, glasses, makeup covering my facial cuts. Tomorrow, the dead rise, I whispered, sliding the evidence into my briefcase. And hell comes with them. The boardroom fell silent as I walked in. wig and glasses discarded. Vanessa stood at the head of my table, mid-presentation, her face draining of color. But you're dead. Disappointed. I placed my briefcase on the table. 2 police officers and a district attorney entered behind me. Marcus stumbled to his feet. Mom! Oh my God! Sit down, Marcus. We have a lot to discuss. I nodded to Raymond, who distributed folders to each board member. You'll find evidence that Vanessa Williams, also known as Victoria Webb and Veronica Wilson, attempted to murder me after marrying my son to gain control of this company. Vanessa laughed nervously. This is ridiculous. I've been running this company while you've been hiding, plotting against me. Who's going to believe you? The fisherman who rescued me after you pushed me overboard will. Carlos? Carlos stepped forward. I found her bleeding and unconscious in the water. Took these pictures of her injuries before getting her to a doctor. He handed the photos to the DA. And then there's your detailed takeover plan, which our systems backed up before you deleted it. I gestured to the screen as Diane pulled up the document. You've done this twice before, Vanessa. Or should I call you by your real name, Eleanor Vance? That's who you were before you started marrying rich men who mysteriously died. Marcus stared at the documents, then at Vanessa. You told me Mom fell overboard during the storm. You said you tried to save her. Don't be naive, Marcus. Your mother was holding us both back. Everything I did was for us. You married me as part of a scheme? His voice cracked. What did you think? That I fell for your boyish charm? I needed your shares and your name. The DA stepped forward. Vanessa Williams, you're under arrest for attempted murder, fraud, and identity theft. As the officers cuffed her, Vanessa spat at me. This isn't over. Actually, it is. I turned to the board. Now, about the Meridian acquisition. The real projections show it's extremely profitable, unlike the doctored ones Vanessa saw. Shall we vote? 6 months later, Amoratech's stock had reached an all-time high. Marcus had resigned from the company, his reputation in tatters. I'd implemented a new corporate structure with multiple safeguards against hostile takeovers. The prison visiting room was cold and sterile. Vanessa slouched in her orange jumpsuit, surprised to see me. Come to gloat? I came to inform you that the $30 million you stole from Gerald Simmons, plus every asset you accumulated, has been seized. So what? You won. Congratulations. I've established the Survivors Fund Foundation with that money. It identifies predators like you and supports their victims. Your case is our flagship example. Her face contorted with rage. You self-righteous bitch! I stood up, smoothing my jacket. The foundation is also funding a special investigative unit to re-examine your previous husband's deaths. I hear they're exhuming bodies next week. You can't do this, I smiled coldly. Watch me. Every cent you tried to steal will now dismantle people just like you. That's my real revenge. What would you have done if you were in Amora's position? Gone public immediately with the attempted murder? Or played dead to gather more evidence and ensure Vanessa's complete downfall? Would you have given your son Marcus a second chance after his betrayal? Or was he too complicit in the scheme? If you enjoyed this revenge story, hit that like button and subscribe to see more stories of justice served cold. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Would you have handled things differently than Amora did?